First contact and retribution. The vast emptiness of space stretched before Captain Alina Reyes as she stood on the bridge of the UES Nemesis. The view screen displayed a kaleidoscope of stars against the blackness of the void, each pinpoint of light representing worlds humanity had yet to explore. 6 months into their deep space reconnaissance mission, the Nemesis had mapped dozens of star systems beyond the Sol Federation's borders. "Captain, we're picking up unusual energy signatures from the Procyon system," Lieutenant Commander Takeshi Yamamoto reported, his fingers dancing across the sensor console. "The patterns don't match any known natural phenomena." Alina straightened her uniform and moved closer to his station. "Could it be artificial?" "Almost certainly," Takeshi confirmed. "The energy output suggests advanced technology, possibly a large fleet." This was what the Nemesis had been searching for, definitive proof that humanity wasn't alone in the universe. After centuries of scanning the skies and sending signals into the void, first contact seemed imminent. "Plot a course to Procyon," Alina ordered. "Standard approach protocol. Alert all department heads and activate the first contact package." As the massive ship altered course, Alina felt the weight of history on her shoulders. Humanity had unified under the Sol Federation banner after the resource wars nearly destroyed Earth a century earlier. The subsequent technological renaissance had propelled them to the stars, establishing colonies on Mars, Europa, and several exoplanets within neighboring systems. The Nemesis represented the pinnacle of human achievement, a vessel designed not just for exploration, but as a show of strength. At 2 kilometers long, with a crew of 5,000, it combined diplomatic facilities with state-of-the-art defensive capabilities. 3 days later, the Nemesis arrived at the edge of the Procyon system, maintaining a respectful distance as they observed the alien presence. The view screen displayed dozens of massive vessels orbiting the system's 4th planet, their crystalline structures pulsing with internal energy. "They're beautiful," whispered Dr. Immerse Singh, the ship's xenoanthropologist. "The designs suggest a unified aesthetic principle, possibly indicating a species with a collective consciousness or highly conformist social structure." Alina nodded. "Open a channel using the first contact protocols. Let's introduce ourselves." The communication team transmitted the carefully designed package. Mathematical sequences followed by simple symbolic representations of humanity and Earth, culminating in a direct greeting in multiple formats. Hours passed without response. Alina was about to order a second transmission when the sensors blared an alert. "3 vessels have broken formation and are heading toward us," Takeshi reported, tension evident in his voice. "They're accelerating rapidly." Alina maintained her composure. "Hold position. Keep broadcasting. They may simply be curious." The alien ships approached with incredible speed, their crystalline structures shifting and reconfiguring as they moved. When they reached a position 10,000 kilometers from the Nemesis, they stopped abruptly. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission," Communications Officer Liang announced. "The computer is processing it now." The view screen flickered, resolving into an image that caused several bridge officers to gasp. The alien had a vaguely humanoid form, but with translucent skin revealing a complex internal biology. Multiple eyes arranged in a circular pattern dominated its face, and tentacle-like appendages moved constantly around its body. "This is Captain Alina Reyes of the United Earth ship Nemesis," Alina stated clearly. "We come in peace as representatives of humanity and the Sol Federation." The alien's response came through the ship's speakers, the translation algorithm struggling to interpret the complex harmonics. "You trespass in Kravac space, primitive vessel. State your purpose or be removed." Alina maintained her diplomatic stance. "We are explorers seeking peaceful contact with other intelligent species. We had no knowledge this system was claimed. We respectfully acknowledge your prior presence and seek to establish diplomatic relations." The Kravak's representative's eyes contracted simultaneously. "Scans indicate your vessel contains weapons systems and military personnel." This contradicts your claim of peaceful intent. The Nemesis is primarily an exploration vessel, Alina explained. Like your ships, we maintain defensive capabilities for our security, but we have no hostile intentions. The alien skin pulsed with shifting colors. The Kravax Imperium does not recognize unlisted species territorial claims or diplomatic status. You will power down your systems and prepare for boarding and inspection. Alina frowned. First contact protocols emphasized mutual respect and sovereignty. With respect, we cannot allow boarding of our vessel without established diplomatic frameworks. Perhaps we could meet on neutral ground tow. Compliance is not optional. The Kravax interrupted. Your technological level indicates a primitive civilization that requires supervision. Resistance will be interpreted as hostile action. Before Alina could respond, the tactical officer shouted, "Energy buildup detected in the lead vessel. They're charging weapons." "Raise shields," Alina ordered calmly. "Do not return fire. Continue broadcasting on all frequencies that we seek peaceful resolution." The lead Kravax ship released a beam of intense purple energy that struck the Nemesis's shields, causing the entire ship to shudder. "Shields holding at 80%, reported Security Chief Martinez. "That was just a warning shot, Captain. They could have hit us much harder." Alina addressed the still-open channel. "Kravax representative, we have taken no hostile action. This unprovoked attack violates galactic principles off." "Silence," the alien commanded. "Your presence violates Kravax expansion directives. You will submit or be destroyed. You have one planetary rotation to decide." The transmission cut abruptly, and the three alien vessels maintained their position. Weapons still charged. "Captain, we should retreat and report to Federation Command," suggested First Officer Daniels. "We're not equipped to handle a diplomatic disaster of this magnitude." Alina considered their options. The Nemesis could likely outrun the three vessels, but the main Kravax fleet remained a formidable blockade. "Send a coded transmission to command with all encounter data," she decided. "We'll withdraw to the system's edge, but remain within observation range. I want continuous monitoring of their fleet movements." The Nemesis retreated to a safer distance, maintaining passive scans of the Kravax fleet. Over the next 12 hours, Alina and her senior staff analyzed the encounter, preparing contingency plans. "Their technology appears to be approximately 30 years ahead of ours," Chief Engineer Okafor reported. "Their energy weapons are more efficient, but their shield configurations suggest vulnerabilities to our phase disruptors." Alina was about to respond when Takeshi called out, "Captain, a small vessel is approaching from Earth direction. It's the UES emissary, a diplomatic courier." The emissary was a sleek, unarmed vessel designed specifically for diplomatic missions. Its arrival suggested that Federation Command had dispatched high-level representatives to salvage the first contact situation. "Open a channel," Alina ordered. Ambassador Jerome Chen's face appeared on screen. "Captain Rice, we've received your report. The Security Council has authorized me to establish formal diplomatic relations with the Kravax. We're proceeding to their fleet position." "Ambassador, I strongly advise against that," Alina warned. "The Kravax have already demonstrated hostility. At least allow us to escort you." "That would defeat the purpose, Captain," Chen replied. "Our approach must be entirely peaceful, without military escort. Stand by for further instructions once negotiations are underway." Alina watched with growing unease as the emissary approached the Kravax fleet. The diplomatic vessel transmitted continuous peace signals, its course steady and non-threatening. When the emissary was halfway between the Nemesis and the Kravax fleet, multiple energy signatures erupted from the alien vessels. Before anyone could react, converging beams struck the defenseless diplomatic ship. The emissary exploded in a blinding flash, debris scattering across space. Stunned silence fell over the Nemesis bridge. 200 diplomats and crew, vaporized without warning or provocation. "The Kravax fleet is moving," Takeshi reported, his voice tight with shock. "They're spreading out, taking up attack formations." Alina's shock gave way to cold determination. Battle stations. Prepare for emergency warp. Plot a course back to Earth. Maximum speed. As the Nemesis escaped the system, outrunning the pursuing Kravax vessels, Alina recorded her final log entry on the encounter. The Kravax have made their intentions clear. They view other species as beneath them, unworthy of respect or diplomatic consideration. Humanity offered peace and was answered with slaughter. We will return, and when we do, the Kravax will learn that humanity is not to be underestimated. 6 months later, Alina stood in the massive orbital shipyard above Earth, watching as workers completed the final modifications to the Nemesis. After the destruction of the emissary, the Sol Federation had formally declared war on the Kravax Imperium. Intelligence suggested the aliens were expanding aggressively through the galaxy, subjugating or exterminating other species they encountered. Admiral Hassan approached, his expression grim. The Security Council has approved Project Thunderstrike. The prototype is ready for installation on the Nemesis. Will it work? Alina asked quietly. The simulations are promising, Hassan replied. Dr. Okafor believes the gravitational singularity drive will give us the edge we need. One ship with the firepower to match their entire fleet. Alina watched as a massive cylindrical device was carefully maneuvered toward the Nemesis, the result of humanity's most brilliant minds working tirelessly. Project Thunderstrike represented a technological leap beyond anything previously conceived. By harnessing the power of an artificial quantum singularity, the weapon could theoretically create localized ruptures in space-time itself. The Kravax believe us primitive and weak, Alina said, her voice hardening. They're about to discover how dangerous humanity can be when threatened. Admiral Hassan nodded solemnly. The fate of our species may rest on this mission, Captain. The Nemesis will depart in 72 hours. Your orders are clear. Demonstrate humanity's resolve and force the Kravax to the negotiating table. As Alina returned to her ship, she thought about the responsibility placed upon her shoulders. The Nemesis would no longer be just an exploration vessel. It would be humanity's retribution, carrying a weapon powerful enough to make even the arrogant Kravax tremble. The crew worked around the clock, integrating the new systems and running combat drills. When the time for departure came, Alina addressed her crew through the ship-wide communication system. Men and women of the Nemesis, we embark today not just on a military mission, but a journey that will determine humanity's place among the stars. The Kravax believe they can crush us like insects beneath their heel. We go to show them that humanity will not bow, will not surrender, and will not be erased from the cosmos. When we return, it will be with peace, but a peace founded on respect, not submission. As the massive warship disengaged from the orbital dock, its newly installed singularity drive humming with controlled power, Earth's defense fleet formed an honor guard. The Nemesis passed through their ranks, heading toward the darkness of deep space and the waiting Kravax Imperium. Humanity's ultimate weapon was on its way to battle, carrying with it the hopes of every human in the Sol Federation. The aliens who had so casually destroyed the emissary were about to learn a harsh lesson about underestimating humanity's resolve and ingenuity. The Reckoning. The UES Nemesis emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Procyon system, its massive hull gleaming dully in the distant starlight. 6 months had passed since the destruction of the emissary and humanity's declaration of war against the Kravax Imperium. During that time, the alien forces had expanded their territory, conquering 2 more star systems and establishing a formidable defensive perimeter. Stealth systems engage, reported Lieutenant Commander Takeshi. We're running silent, passive sensors only. Captain Alina Reyes nodded, her face illuminated by the tactical display. Intelligence from deep space probes had confirmed that the Kravax now maintained a fleet of over 50 warships in the Procyon system, their crystalline vessels arranged in a complex defensive formation around the 4th planet, which appeared to be their forward command base. Status of Project Thunderstrike? Alina asked, turning to Chief Engineer Okafor. The singularity drive is stable, Captain, Okafor replied. Power systems are nominal. The primary weapon is charged and ready, though I must emphasize we can only fire it 3 times before the containment field requires full regeneration. Elena studied the tactical display. The Nemesis had been transformed from an exploration vessel into humanity's ultimate weapon. Its sleek hull now concealed technologies that had been theoretical just months ago. A quantum stealth system that bent light and sensor readings around the ship, rendering it nearly invisible. Reinforced gravitational shields capable of withstanding energy outputs far beyond conventional weapons. And most significantly, the Thunderstrike weapon system. Take us in, Helm, Elena ordered. Maintain stealth approach. I want us positioned within optimal firing range of their command vessel. The Nemesis glided forward, a ghost ship moving undetected through the Kruvak's defensive perimeter. The bridge crew worked in tense silence, aware that discovery before they were in position could be catastrophic. Captain, Security Chief Martinez said quietly, scans indicate the Kruvaks have significantly upgraded their fleet. These aren't the same vessels we encountered 6 months ago. Elena examined the data. The alien ships had evolved, their crystalline structures more complex, weapon systems more prominent. Intelligence suggested the Kruvaks were a species obsessed with technological advancement, incorporating designs and concepts from conquered civilizations. They've been busy, Elena remarked. Any sign they've detected us? Negative, Takshi replied. Their sensor sweeps are passing right through our position. The Nemesis continued its approach, navigating carefully between patrolling Kruvak's vessels. As they neared the central formation, Elena could see the massive command ship, nearly 3 times the size of the Nemesis, its crystalline structure pulsing with energy. We've reached optimal firing position, Martins announced. Elena stood, addressing her bridge crew. This is the moment that will define humanity's future among the stars. We came seeking peaceful contact and were met with violence. Today, we answer that violence with a demonstration of power the Kruvaks cannot ignore. She turned to Takeshi. Disengage stealth systems. Open a channel to the Kruvak's command ship. The Nemesis shimmered into visibility in the heart of the alien formation, causing immediate chaos among the Kruvak's fleet. Vessels scrambled to reposition, weapons charging as alarms undoubtedly blared throughout their fleet. Channel open. Communications Officer Liang reported. The view screen illuminated with the image of a Kruvak's commander, its multiple eyes widening in surprise at the human vessel that had appeared in their midst. I am Captain Elena Reyes of the UES Nemesis, representing the Sol Federation, Elena stated, her voice steady and cold. 6 months ago, your forces destroyed our diplomatic vessel without provocation, murdering 200 unarmed representatives who came in peace. We have returned to address this crime. The Kruvak's commander's skin pulsed with rapid color changes. Primitive vessel, your infiltration of our defensive perimeter is impressive but futile. Surrender immediately or be destroyed. Scan our vessel, Elena replied. Observe our modifications. We no longer come seeking friendship, but justice. The alien's eyes contracted as it presumably received reports about the Nemesis's capabilities. Your technological advances are noted but insufficient. The Kruvak's Imperium has subjugated species far more advanced than yours. You have one final opportunity to surrender before. No, Elena interrupted. You have one opportunity to cease hostilities against humanity and withdraw from the systems you've illegally occupied. Failure to comply will result in a demonstration of force that will reshape your understanding of primitive species. The Kruvak's commander's skin darkened to a deep purple. Your arrogance exceeds your wisdom. Commence fire. Energy beams from a dozen Kruvak's vessels converged on the Nemesis, striking its gravitational shields in a blinding display of power that would have vaporized any conventional vessel. Shields holding at 92%, Martins reported, unable to keep the satisfaction from his voice. Their weapons are powerful, but our new defense systems are absorbing the energy effectively. Elena remained standing, her eyes fixed on the Kravax commander, who was visibly startled by the Nemesis's resilience. "Return fire, standard weapons only. Target their secondary vessels." The Nemesis's phase disruptors lanced out, striking 3 Kravax ships simultaneously. The alien vessels' shields flared and collapsed, their crystalline structures fracturing under the precision assault. "The Kravax fleet is moving to surround us," Takshi warned. "They're adapting their attack pattern." The alien commander's image reappeared on screen. "Your vessel's capabilities are unexpected but ultimately irrelevant. You face the combined might of the Kravax Imperium. Surrender now, and your species may be permitted to exist under our guidance." Alina's expression hardened. "We gave you the opportunity to resolve this peacefully. Now you will understand why threatening humanity was your greatest mistake." She turned to Okafor. "Activate Project Thunderstrike. Target their command vessel." The Nemesis's hull began to vibrate as the Singularity Drive channeled its immense power into the primary weapon system. A low, resonant hum filled the bridge, building to a crescendo as energy readings spiked beyond conventional measurements. "Thunderstrike at full charge," Okafor reported. "Firing solution locked." "Fire," Alina commanded. From the forward section of the Nemesis, a concentrated beam of intense blue-white energy erupted, cutting through space toward the Kravax command ship. Where the beam struck, space itself seemed to distort and fold. The massive alien vessel attempted evasive maneuvers, but the Thunderstrike weapon didn't simply impact its target. It created a localized rupture in space-time around it. The Kravax command ship twisted grotesquely as gravitational forces tore at its structure, the crystalline hull shattering like glass. Within seconds, the entire vessel collapsed inward, compressed by artificial gravitational forces to a fraction of its original size, before exploding in a blinding flash that sent shockwaves throughout the system. Stunned silence fell over the Kravax fleet. Nothing in their experience had prepared them for a weapon that could manipulate the fabric of space itself. "Damage assessment," Alina asked quietly. "The Kravax command vessel is completely destroyed," Martins confirmed. 3 supporting vessels caught in the gravitational shockwave have suffered critical damage. The remaining fleet has ceased fire and appears to be in disarray. Alina addressed the open channel again. This was a demonstration of a single Thunderstrike deployment. The Nemesis carries enough power for multiple such attacks. Additionally, the Sol Federation has begun construction of 10 more vessels equipped with this technology. Consider your options carefully. For several tense minutes, the Kravax fleet maintained position, weapons still charged but not firing. Then, a new transmission came through. A different Kravax commander, its skin pulsing with subdued colors that the xenobiologists had identified as indicating caution or respect. "Your species has exceeded our assessment," the new commander acknowledged. "The Kravax Imperium recognizes the tactical implications of your technology. We propose cessation of hostilities and the establishment of territorial boundaries." Alina allowed herself a small smile. "The Sol Federation accepts your proposal with conditions. You will withdraw from all systems you've occupied in the past solar year. You will release any species you've subjugated, and you will agree to formal recognition of humanity as an equal power in this sector of space." The Kravax commander's multiple eyes blinked in sequence, a gesture that intelligence suggested indicated deep consideration. "These terms will be conveyed to the Imperial Council. Until their decision, we request a temporary armistice." "Granted," Alina replied. "The Nemesis will remain in position to ensure compliance." As the transmission ended, the bridge crew of the Nemesis exchanged looks of cautious triumph. The Kravax fleet began to withdraw to a respectful distance, maintaining formation, but clearly reassessing their strategy. "They didn't expect this," Takshi said, breaking the silence. "They've likely conquered dozens of species who couldn't defend themselves." "That ends today," Alina declared. "Humanity won't allow bullies to dominate the stars. We came seeking friendship but proved we're capable of being formidable enemies." 3 days later, the Kravax Imperial Council formally accepted humanity's terms. The singularity weapon had fundamentally altered the power dynamics of the region. Intelligence reports suggested the demonstration had sent shockwaves through the entire Kravax society, challenging their core belief in their technological superiority. As the Nemesis maintained its position, monitoring the Kravax withdrawal from occupied systems, Alina recorded her report for the Sol Federation Security Council. The Kravax Imperium has agreed to recognize humanity as a sovereign power and establish formal diplomatic relations based on mutual respect. Project Thunderstrike achieved its objective with minimal loss of life. However, I must emphasize that our technological advantage is temporary. The Kravax are adaptive and will undoubtedly develop countermeasures given time. I recommend we use this period of peace to establish a permanent diplomatic presence in this sector and forge alliances with other species the Kravax have threatened. Humanity stepped onto the galactic stage, seeking friendship and knowledge. While we've demonstrated our capacity for war when necessary, our true strength lies in our ability to build connections across differences and find common ground even with former enemies. The stars hold both wonders and dangers. Today, we've proven that humanity can face those dangers and emerge not just surviving, but triumphant. The Nemesis will remain on station until diplomatic teams arrive to formalize the peace accords. Rise out. As Alina concluded her report, she gazed at the viewscreen showing the vast expanse of stars beyond the Procyon system. Humanity had entered a new era, recognized and respected by a powerful alien civilization that had previously dismissed them as primitive. The price had been high, but the message was clear: underestimate humans at your peril. In the following months, representatives from 3 other species approached the Sol Federation, seeking alliances against the Kravax Imperium's expansion. The diplomatic channels that opened as a result of the Nemesis's mission transformed humanity's position in the galaxy from isolated newcomers to key players in an emerging interstellar community. The Nemesis itself became a symbol, to some, a harbinger of humanity's potential for destruction. To others, a guardian ensuring that peace was maintained through strength. For Captain Alina Reyes and her crew, it represented something simpler: the indomitable human spirit that would not bow to tyranny, no matter how technologically advanced or numerous the oppressor. As the first formal peace conference convened aboard the Nemesis 1 year after the Battle of Procyon, Alina welcomed the Kravax delegation with a simple message that would echo across the stars. Today marks a new beginning between our civilizations. May we learn from the past and build a future where strength is measured not by destruction, but by cooperation. Humanity stands ready to be either your greatest ally or your most determined adversary. The choice, as it has always been, is yours.